I suck in it, and the straw just fucking collapses in on its own way, you know what I mean? That's like the McDonald's milkshake.
You create like a mini black hole inside of it. It's fucking everything gets crushed.
My brother worked at McDonald's when I turned 16. Fucking Xbox One. So I was like, fuck, McDonald's. You pay like £4.10 an hour, which is like $5. I was like $5.50. And yeah, I fucking hated it. And I remember my brother telling me, he was like, yeah, you can get sick of McDonald's food really fast. And I was like 6 months in, I'm like, I fucking love this food still. Because you'd get to make your own, like, you weren't supposed to, but like, the managers were like, you can have this. Like, go on, so you can basically make your own burger. Right. So I used to just make like in the UK we have like fried chicken sandwiches, like fancy ones. They used they had like better meat. I mean, it's still fucking awful. But I would just fucking put like a handful of fucking bacon and shove it on. That was like the best part. Right. And then you could get like meals for like half price, but everything else was fucking awful at McDonald's. Everything was awful. Like the people were the worst part, man. They were just like,
because the workers or the customers?
The workers.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because I just didn't get on with any of them. And they were all, you know, like, not to be mean, but a lot of the ones that I worked with were, like, people that, like, I wouldn't be friends with.
Whenever I go to a McDonald's and I see, like, an employee smiling, I'm like, he's sus.
Yeah.
Like, who is he murdered today? So some Orange is sus right now, you know what I mean?
I remember I legitimately got, like, I had to go and sit in I got, like, fucking put on, like, detention for like 20 minutes.
At the McDonald's.
Because I was working on the fucking, like, making the chicken burgers and the burgers. I was making the burgers, and they told me off for not smiling. And I said, why do I have to smile when making burgers? And they looked at me like, why did you ask that question? And they told me to go and take a break for 20 minutes.
It's like a George Orwell novel, isn't it?
I was like, what do you mean?
Dystopia. Everyone has to smile.
I was like, what do you mean? Why am I not fucking smiling, mate? I'm making a fucking burger. What do you mean? I couldn't believe. I was furious.
It's like they're at home. They make their own sandwiches. Like, shit, I forgot to smile.
I couldn't believe it. And so I was like 16 one time, and the one time where I was like, I fucking hated it here, was when they were talking to me, and these dudes were like 25, and they were bragging to me, like both of them were bragging to me about how they were going to the party in the school next to me. Right. Like 16-year-olds. And I was like, so you went to a party full of 16-year-olds? And they're like, yeah, it was sick. And I'm like, why? Why did you go to a party full of 16-year-olds? You're 25. And they're like, oh, just I wanted to get with the girls. I'm like, what? Why am I in the UK? It's legal for 16. But I was still like, what?
Yeah, but still.
And the only nice people there were the ones above 40, but everyone near my age was just the fucking worst. And every time I had to go and train someone, so I was there for like 3 months, and after 3 months, you're ready to train people. You're a fucking McDonald's veteran because you've lasted more than 90% of the fucking employees. No joke. Because
I believe that. Yeah, I believe it. Absolutely.
They hire they overhire because they know that people are gonna like leave. So I was teaching this one guy, and he was clearly like just didn't want me. And I could tell he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to this. So about 2 hours into his shift of me teaching him, he goes like, I'm gonna smoke. Just never came back. He just left. he just straight up left. He never came back. And then I had to do the whole shift on my own, then doing all this shit. And I was like, I went to my boss and I'm like, yeah, he didn't come back.
He just went for a smoke break.
He went for a smoke break about 2 hours ago.
Dude, he just pulled like the dad.
That's what I was thinking.
He went to go buy cigarettes and never came back.
Yeah, he never came back. And I was like, so what do I do? And they're like, I just go work in there. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Another time, I was making, it was the same guy actually, it was the first hour of teaching him. And when you're...
So what was the entire timeline? How long did he work here and get to teach him?
2 hours and a half, and he went to smoke break. but I had to keep working because, and I asked, okay, this is pretty bad. And I could just fucking sue McDonald's for this. So, when we were, this really fucking hot work, it's like 400 degrees, ridiculous.
Like fry oil.
Yeah, it's ridiculously hot. And this asshole next to me, I was like, yeah, just gently put it in. Next to me while I was showing him, I'm like, so put the chicken nuggets in here. He fucking slams them in, right? Oil went all over my hand, right? Yeah, and then I asked, could I go and put it in the cold water to my boss? And they were like, no, you gotta keep working. And I'm like, what? So I'm here fucking like crying of pain, making these fucking burgers, right? And then...
Don't forget to smile.
Yeah, right. Don't forget to
I have
smile.
a third-degree burn.
So, like, I'm about an hour later. It's finally my time to get a break, right?
Yeah.
And I'm eating my burger, and you can see my hand is bright pink and like blistered. And the other manager, because of course there's multiple managers,
Yeah.
there's one McDonald's. The other manager comes in and he's mortified. He's like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, I spilled oil on it." And he's like, "Why didn't you put your hand on the water?" He's like, "Oh, because the other manager said I couldn't." And bear in mind, I was like 16, so you know, I should have known that I could have been like, "No, fuck you, I'm putting my hand on the water." But when you're 16, if the boss tells you to
You do what you're told,
you do
right?
what you do, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So, and then he was mortified, and the other boss got into so much shit. They apologized to me profusely, and they like were like, "Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to come to work tomorrow. It's all paid." And I'm like, "Wow, that's so nice of them." But I realized at the time they were just like hoping I wouldn't fucking try and sue them, right? Because I could have, like,
You could have easily.
I should have, honestly.
That's like some serious OH&S problem.
Yeah, and then finally, when I quit prematurely because I was just done. My manager was a total bitch. The store owner was horrible. She hated dudes. Like, she would always be so nice to the women working there. And then whenever a guy did anything wrong, he'd absolutely shit on me.
Yeah.
I know I'm talking so much. Sorry, that's the last story.
I just can't get over the fact that the dude left after
Yeah,
shit off.
he
Dude,
fucking left.
my man was speed running the dog.
Like, I respect
80%.
it.
You know,
It took me like 8 months to realize what he realized in 2 hours, right? Like, that's what, like, I
That's
regret.
disrespectful at that point, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, this isn't for me.
Right.
I'm a head out. I'm out. He just wall clicked out of
It
it.
was like, you know what, the reduced money on the meals just isn't worth it, right? Because, okay, you gotta admit, right, I was the fucking king when school, and I was like, you want a lunch break? I get half price off McDonald's meals. Who wants to come? You get 2 meals.
I remember the cool kids in school where whoever worked at the coolest place and could get like the best
Discount, yeah.
the discount. So whoever worked in the fucking gaming store,
Right,
man,
right,
they
right.
were the king.
Yeah, like, because I could bring my mate on lunch. I'm like, we can get a whole McDonald's meal for £2. Whole meal. Any size you want. Treat yourself. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I could go fat. So, anyway, I'm working like a shift, right? And then I'd actually been trained to be a lifeguard. The staff had a lifeguard. And you know when you work somewhere, a place you have a reference? Have you ever had this where they actually contact the reference? I've never had that. So I just thought it was like a myth. I thought it was like a bluff. It was like, go on, name someone.
I fucking dare you to call.
Name someone who will and Terry. I dare you.
Yeah.
So they actually fucking called my McDonald's whilst I was working my shift.
Right.
So they do it, and they come in like, so Connor, are you looking for other employment? I'm like, why? Because we just got a call from the council asking for a reference for your lifeguard. What's up with that? You didn't tell us. And I was like in my head, I'm like, why do I have to tell you? Like, fuck you, you pay me $4 an hour. Like, what do I owe you? Like,
Yeah, what are they gonna be like? You can check out, but you can never leave.
yeah, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I was looking for a better job. And they fucking like flipped a switch when I said a better job. They were like, what do you mean a better job? You think McDonald's a bad job? And I was like, well,
Yes.
I'm like looking around and I'm like,
What surprised me is like how little self-awareness they seem to have over there, right?
because the thing is, right, I want to be bullshit some of these guys, because I know I've met some of the managers who've come with me, super nice guys, and they're such, like, they understand. The managers at my McDonald's, they were like, trying to say my managerial job is like a joke. Like, and in my head, I'm kind of like, yeah.
Yes, actually.
Did you see the food thing, safety thing we had to fill out online? That was a joke. Come on. It's like, don't shit on the lettuce. Obviously, you shit on the lettuce. So the manager's really pissed off, right? The store owner is coming in 10 minutes. And he's like, I want to talk to the store owner. This is really upset. 10 minutes when you come in. I'm like, are you serious? I'm 16. So
They really did not want to make you leave.
they really like fucking put me on $4. Can you believe that? So and my mom wondered why I fucking hated working. She said, no, you're just doing exactly what you do. I'm like, no, it was awful. So the store owner comes in, right? And then we go towards her in front of the customers, and she's rinsed in front of these customers, like shouting in front of these customers. And I think that was like weird. And then I was like about to cry. And I'm like, you know what? I quit.
You said it.
I was like, you know
I'm
what?
going for a smoke break. I'm gonna take my smoke break.
My mom was so pissed off at me. She was like, you have like, because I'd actually been accepted for the other job.
Yeah.
I had a whole like month and a half left before I start the other job. She's like, I can't believe you quit a month and a half before your next job, Connor. I'm like, that's really like, what the fuck? And I was like, Mom, you don't understand how awful this was.
It's McDonald's.
Yeah, and like she was just chewing me out in front of these customers, and like I was just like, I'm not being paid I don't. Come on, man. Like, I am so fucking young.
Did
man.
you smile the entire time?
No, I was just sitting there like, okay.
Show the
Okay.
smile as you're getting
Yeah,
reached.
and as she was just doing it, I'm like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I quit. Like, I quit. I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this. I'll finish this shift, but I'm done after this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And I never heard from them, man. And then, yeah, I went there like 3 years later after I'd like been killing it on YouTube. And then the manager, the one who's a dickhead, was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing now, Connor? I'm like, well,
wouldn't you want to know?
well, you know, I just got back from LA. You know, I went to visit my friends in Japan. You know, I was just making, you know, I work when I want, make my own hours. You know, it's great. You know.
You should have just been like, oh, I eat a Burger King pretty regularly.
Just fill my tax return. Damn, did you know the tax rate's so high when you earn so much money, dude? Damn, that hurts, man. I'm sure. Okay.
Anyway, can I have a big Florida?
I mean, some of them were nice, but yeah, everyone was nasty.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's working in retail is like this. This isn't a diss at anyone who works in retail, but it is.
It's hard, man.
As someone who has worked in retail before, you know, a lot of people in college or in high school that get their first job normally works in retail, and it's normally just to fuel whatever hobby they have.
Just stick
know.
up for yourself, man. That's like this thing that I wish I did. Like, I wish I like just didn't roll over because I was very obedient as a kid, and I didn't really like. I was always just taught like whatever the elders or the person in charge says. Just
exactly.
They know this. I don't know what the fuck I was doing at McDonald's. Like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, I had no idea what I was doing half the time. I just did shit, and dude, oh my god, I used to spend like when they were like go and get some fries out of the freezer. I used to spend like 10 minutes just sitting in there because I was like, fuck, dude, what am I doing, man? And it's so hot in the kitchen. That when you get to you're like, who's gonna get the fries?
You just had a fucking existential crisis just getting fries. The McDonald's freezer has become like a panic room.
I would literally just go there for like 5-10 minutes as long as I can get away with it and just sit there and be like,
Imagine if you open up the freezer, it's like 3 other employees in there. It's like, just like everyone's hiding in the freezer.
I was so jealous. There was this one dude, his whole job was just crazy Simpson in the freezer. That was his whole job. And I'm like, that guy's job. Fuck me in front of the deep fryer. That made my neck so bad.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I worked at Co-op, there would be always these odd jobs that I wish I could get. Like, one guy's job was just to fucking go outside and collect all the trolleys that people take to their cars. That's so nice because you can just like listen, you don't have to interact with anybody, right? Like, that's the best job. I was always on the till. And my least favorite part of the job was when anyone would try to mix it. I was like, I'm just here to fucking scan your food, take your money. Why are you trying to talk to me? I don't give a shit about how your day is going. I got that smile talk as well. It's like when they talk to you, you gotta smile and you gotta be having a good day no matter what's going on. And I just mean like, I don't know, I didn't have like any bad experiences with the customers, but I mean, yeah, I had some fucking
What's up with those cashiers when they like take fucking drawer out of my team? What's up? What? Like, did you ever get that?
Finally, my power.
It's like literally like a white culture.
Yeah.
It's like.
Because at that moment in time, they have all the
power.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, like, I hate that. Like, every time, like, because in Australia, right, like, whenever you go to a bottle or when you go to a liquor store, they have to ID you. Even if you, like, clearly look like it's a challenge to your mind. I remember, like, I went to Bottle with my dad once, and my dad got out. And I remember, like, he was like, obviously the ID me from when I went to but then kind of looked at my dad and was like, ID this. My dad straight up said, fucking kidding me. Do you know how many gray hairs I have on my face? Of course I'm not fucking 20. And the kid was like, alright, fair enough. Yeah, I hate that though. Like, it's the movement of looking down at your ID and then just looking at you with your eyes like this. Yeah, it's that movement. I'm like, what is this fucking LA law? Like, I would hate them.
Dude, I just beat DSA 3rd try.
I hate the process whenever I was working co-op and I had to ask for ID because I was